What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Beasley. Hope you all are productive and motivated. I'm coming at you guys today with a review of the Atlanta Housewives season. I believe this is season 12 reunion. I want to go ahead and do all three parts. I didn't feel like breaking them up. And I feel like there was just a lot going on. So I'm not going to go blow by blow, but I am going to talk about the things that really stuck out to me and my thoughts of the future of this show. So, starting off with the fashion, for the most part, I thought everybody looked amazing. I would say my favorite look of the night was from Cynthia. She was channeling like a modern day Whitney Houston, fairy godmother. She looked absolutely beautiful. I would say my worst dress would have to be Giovanna. I hated her look from top to stomach. Like, it just didn't really do anything for me. And I didn't like the white eyeliner either. Like, she was trying to do like a throwback makeup look, and I just honestly wasn't feeling it. It was my cup of tea. I would say a runner up, I would give it to Eva, even though her titties were quote unquote social distancing. We're gonna get into that later. I thought out of everybody else besides Cynthia, she had like the second best look. I love her jumpsuit. It looked absolutely beautiful. So the main things that really stuck out to me about part one was the featureism and the colorism that has kind of plagued the Atlanta Housewives. And it kind of made me feel like view these ladies in a different light. And it kind of felt like this show was dipping down low into Basketball Wives territory, which is a no go. So the first thing that stuck out to me was Portia taking offense to Eva saying that her baby looks like Dennis with a bow. Now you could really take that shade a multitude of ways. Eva, she intended it for it to be shady, absolutely. Like she's like secondhandedly calling her baby ugly, which her baby is absolutely adorable. She may look a little pissed off and fed up at times, but that baby is so cute to me. But the problem I have with that is, Portia, your baby does look like Dennis, like almost exactly like Dennis, and she looks like Dennis with Portia's mom's skin tone, basically. And I must say, like, Portia, how do you view Dennis if you take offense to that? Now, granted, Eva made it probably shaded the baby, saying that like that's like a masculine looking baby because whenever you say the daughter looks like the father, it could be taken as like shade. Like, are you calling my daughter ugly because she has more masculine features? When it's just like, no, in reality, she does look like Dennis with a bow. Like, I don't see Portia in that baby whatsoever, if I'm just being honest. But the baby is absolutely adorable. I feel like I'm not faulting Portia for being mad at Eva, but Portia, you gotta like. Well, how do you view Dennis? Like, do you think that he is attractive? Like, are you ashamed of his looks, or are you embarrassed by like he's not attractive? Because I think Dennis is attractive. Like, that man's not ugly. Like, black people, we really got to figure out what are we deeming as ugly. Like, are we deeming like very pronounced negroid features as ugly, or are we deeming a person's character as ugly, or are we just saying they're ugly because they just don't fit the standard of beauty of today in the United States? But there is a lot to dissect with that, and also we get into Kenya basically chastising Eva about the nappy headed comment, and I took offense to that nappy headed comment as well. Like, Eva is the typical light skinned girl with the pretty colored eyes, and of course, like any like dark skinned woman is going to take offense when they see like a very fair skinned woman refer to other black women having nappy heads. Like, I don't understand why Eva didn't really understand the backlash. Like, the backlash was well deserved in my opinion. And I like how Kenya basically like dumbed it down for her and was like, you as a silky haired, light skinned woman with beautiful eyes, like a lot of black women that don't have your features are gonna take offense to that because black women are dogged for having very negroid features up in the public. And it's just like, damn, like we're taking this from other people outside of our race, and now we got to take it from this girl too. This girl that can really pass in American society and seen as the quote unquote good black. So I really don't get how Eva at her age did not understand the backlash that she got for saying that shit, but whatever. And then Kenya calling Nene and Marlo ugly, the two ugliest girls on the show. And I'm just like, what makes them ugly, Kenya? Like, yeah, Kenya's dark skinned, but it's just like she has that long hair. And like, let's keep it real. In the black community, men like to give shit on dark skinned women, but give the ones that have quote unquote good hair a pass. Like, they pass the featureism test, but they can't pass the paper brown bag test. But men will choose to be with them regardless because they have a feature that is desirable, even though they don't have a desirable skin tone. Like, this is how most black people act. Like, I lived in the South my whole entire life. This is the mentality down here. And even though times have changed and things have gotten a little more suppressed, there are still people in our community that think that way. So I really didn't like Kenya calling Nene and Marlo ugly. Like, just because, I mean, they're both beautiful in my opinion. Like, everybody on the cast is beautiful. Like, nobody's ugly. Nobody's like facially challenged. I mean, if they were, they wouldn't be on the show. I I really didn't. It didn't agree with my spirit when Kenya calling them ugly. Like, yeah, like Nene needs to be taken down a peg, but there's other reads that you could read Nene about. Like, you could read Nene about her career. You could read Nene about her being desperate and thirsty. You could read Nene about like not really having her reads together for this reunion, and we're gonna get into that in a little bit. Like, there is a like Nene, honestly. I love her, but she is an easy read, and not even just for her looks. Like, you could read her about a lot of shit. So we get into, I want to talk about Snakegate. Snakegate, in my opinion, is one of the worst storylines that this show has ever had. I hate that it's going to be dragged into next season whenever they start filming, because a lot of y'all don't know, but Yvonne got picked up for next season, and she may have a peach. I actually was really surprised by that, but I don't like, I can take her or leave her. Like, I'm not against her coming back, but it's just like I feel like she didn't really get to really give enough to be warranted to be called back. But it is what it is. But Snakegate was a bunch of bullshit from inception. Like, we still don't know if Yvonne has any recordings. She came on there, she didn't clear anything up, and it's just like, come on, girl. Like, do you have a recording or not? Like, and then on top of that, does a recording really matter? Because even if Cynthia was saying some foul mess about Nene, they were not friends with each other. And Cynthia has a past to say a whole bunch of shit about Nene because Nene has talked about Cynthia like a dog in the past and has also tried to get her put off the show, if not twice, I believe. Like, and Nene has done so much to Cynthia, and it's just like the minute that Cynthia does something that's shady, like Cynthia wants to just go against the grain and say that she is a sneaky person, she has a different side, she's unhanded. No, she's only has a different side to you, Nene, because she's not kissing your ass, and she's not up under you, and she's not trying to like run up and be friends with you again because you have showed her many a times that you are just not here for her. Like, you. The problem with Nene is she does not want her friends to elevate above her. Like, Nene, I'm not gonna say that she's a bad friend, but she doesn't want to see people doing better than her. That's why she can't take Kenya, and that's why she really can't take Candy. Now, Nene and Candy, they got into it, and this had been a long time brewing. Like, them two, Nene didn't see it for Candy day one. Mainly because Candy was already successful before she got on the show. Like, everybody knew who Candy was. Like, Candy had a name, and Nene made her name off of the Real Housewives. It's really simple as that. Nene has always been jealous of Candy, and she was really jealous of Candy at the beginning when Kim Ducklips became friends with Candy, and that's another thing. Like, she doesn't want to see her friends be friends with people that she does not like. Like, Exhibit A, up until this day, she is definitely not here for Cynthia and Kenya's friendship, and that's part of the reason why Kenya and Nene have this intense beef, which is really a very frivolous beef. Like, that's the problem with this show. Like, everything about this season was very frivolous, from Snake Gate to the Cookie Lady to Nene versus Kenya. Like it just felt very like produced. It's like, okay, we're the two HBC. What am I trying to say? The HBICs of this show. So we need to go at it and we need to bring it, even though we have no reason to really dislike each other. And it's just like them two, it's like they cancel each other out because in reality they're basically the same person, just like a different look, a different message. Like the only difference between them is, for the most part, Kenya can apologize. Like Nene can't apologize for shit, but neither one of them can take accountability to save their life. It's just like we saw Kenya this whole entire reunion just tap dancing around every single thing that came at her. Like every time somebody brought up something from her past, she would find a rhyme and a reason to deflect from it. And she's pretty crafty, I'll give her that. Like, she never backed down from anything, and she had an answer for everything. But it's just like, girl, can you for once just own up to the fact that you provoke people? Like, you are a shit starter. Like, Kenya, that's what you are. You've been a shit starter since day one. You provoked Portia back at their reunion. You provoked Kim Fields. You provoked Tanya Sam. Like, you provoke all these people. And at Candy's baby shower, I don't think that I personally don't feel like she was necessarily trying to provoke Nene by walking behind her. But at the same time, it's like, girl, read the room. Like, you two just got into this argument and you're gonna walk up behind her. Like, Nene had every right to react the way that she did. She doesn't know what the fuck Kenya's gonna do. Like, Kenya is a fucking like shitster. Like, she always has to cause some type of mess just to get a scene. And it's starting to get a little cheap to me, but she's still good for the show. Like, there's no need for her to go anywhere, in my opinion. But back to Nene and Candy, like Candy said, like, I'm embedded in your brain, and that's the absolute truth. Like, I feel like Nene tries her best to avoid Candy because Candy can really, like, really go there and hurt Nene's feelings if she wanted to, but Candy is not that person. Candy, in my opinion, is always, like, the bigger person for the most part. But I also want to talk about the Cookie Lady and that whole situation with Cynthia. Also, I gotta say by the fact that like them girls were lit in the first one. Like all of them were drunk, and Cynthia was good and high. Cynthia was high. You cannot tell me that she was high as hell throughout this whole entire reunion. When she was confronted about the Cookie Lady, she they did flashbacks, and Cynthia was shown to like invite her to the event so that she can confront Tanya herself. And it's kind of like, in my opinion, the same thing that Kenya did. Kenya brought her around to confront Tanya. Now, Cynthia was kind of doing it, like, she had her producer hat on. Like, she was trying to kind of, like, produce the show, like, get a scene, get some shit cracking. Whereas Kenya was really trying to do it on a more malicious tip and really hurt Tanya and expose her, the flaws in her relationship with her man, which I feel like, Cookie Lady aside, like, there's still flaws in that relationship. Like, the problem I have with Tanya, and I've noticed this, like, I like her still, but, like, I feel like she's just, like, the get-along girl. Like, instead of, like, really talking with common sense, she wants to cape for anything that is going to fit the narrative and be on the side and be in good graces with Team Nene. And Team Nene, in my opinion, consists of Nene, Portia, and Marlo. Like, I just feel like Tanya she doesn't really want to see the badness, the bad sides in like Cynthia or the shadiness and Nene, just so she can like be in good graces with everybody on that team. Like, it's just, I just feel like Tanya, I don't know about her. Like, I feel like she just doesn't really speak her authentic like truth and her authentic thoughts. Like, you're a grown ass woman, but you're just going to play along just so you can drive a narrative, if that makes sense. But Cynthia was caught red-handed, and it's just like she didn't even own up to like that she was being messy about it. And even Candy, who's on her team, called her out like, girl, like, I understand what you're trying to say, and I understand what you were trying to do with the whole situation, but like it looks bad, and it really did. But you know, Cynthia was able to like talk her way out of it. Like Cynthia is just, it's just like how can you even be mad at her? Like she just be just kooky and crazy. She was sitting up there just high boots, just she just sitting up there collecting check at this point. Like honestly, if anybody can go, I think it is time for Cynthia to like throw in the towel with this. But you know, I believe she got like everybody got brought back next season. Like I kind of want to speak about the future of the show. Like I said before, that I want them to take a year off. Like we see that Giovanna got picked up, and they said that the contracts went out like last week after the reunion. So there were no reports of anybody getting fired. So I'm assuming that everybody is going to be brought back, which even though I am in a huge favor of recasting this whole entire show, I think it would be kind of fucked up on Bravo's part to fire anybody during like a time like this, especially when like everybody's like money is very uncertain in the future right now for a lot of people, especially if you work in Hollywood. And then on top of that, it's like during this time, like we don't want to deal with having to cast any new girls. Like that's just a waste of time and money. Like we need to squeeze and hold on to every coin that we have. So I am I'm in favor of them all coming back, but and also a lot of people don't like Phaedra, but I feel like it's time. Like I feel like she is what this show needs to kind of really just spice and spruce this shit up and make it interesting again. And on top of that, Bravo wants to have a reason to bring Apollo back because Apollo is like the unofficial housewife in my opinion. Like he's actually more interesting than Phaedra, but Phaedra has been long and she's been gone long enough, y'all. Like I feel like it's time. Like I can really take her or leave her, but I feel like her coming back will be great for the show and it would breathe life into these stale ass storylines and these manufactured ass beefs. Like I, a year off would do wonders for these ladies, and I'm actually looking forward to seeing the direction of the show if Phaedra were to come back into the fold. But those are my views on all three parts of the reunion. I'm so glad that this season is over. Overall, I would give this season, I'd give it like a 6 out of 10. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't really good either. Like, it had its good moments and it had its fun moments, but for the most part, I wasn't really here for any of the storylines. They were all paper thin. None of them really got resolved, and that's mainly due to people talking in circles. And also, I forgot to even mention, but I'm a little disappointed in Nene for really being chicken shit and not really standing tall in this reunion. You told everybody to get their reads together, girl, and you just had none. Like, you had some good reads in the beginning, but everything just went downhill when you decided to close your laptop. Like, that's not queen behavior. Like, you're supposed to be the boss bitch of this shit. Like, where? At this point. Like, girl, you're being dethroned at this point. You're letting Kenya really win, because Kenya, in my opinion, had the most dialogue on the whole entire reunion out of everybody. Like Nene, you let Kenya win this one. Like, Kenya won the reunion. Like, for the most part, everybody was on her side, and Nene, like, you did not, like, you left Portia astray. Like, even at the end, it was hilarious. Like, we saw, them all, like, Kenya thanked everybody but Portia, and it was so sad. She felt a little left out, but, like, Kenya was like, oh, I love you too, girl. Like, that was hilarious. Portia, she was getting on my nerves a little bit in the beginning, but it's just, she always redeems herself somehow. She's just a lovable idiot, and I like her. But those are my reviews on the reunion. Let me know what you guys think about all three parts of the reunion. Part 1 and 2 were great. Part 3, in my opinion, were boring. I mean, it was just very boring. The part 3, I was playing on my phone for most of it. That's why I don't have a lot of notes. But those are my views. Let me know what you guys think. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for more content.